Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today. I'm Lisa Kaye with Promise Resource Network. Deal your own cards or play with a stack deck. You've probably heard that before. Been involved in some amazing training this week, and some themes have come out for me, right? Just not the class, but me, and how you attend something and you work on you as well. So, we're going to talk about that this morning for Just for Today, something to consider. This is a theme throughout many of our lives, and that is um, dealing your own cards or playing with a stacked hand. And a lot of that comes from not being able to communicate, not being able to have big conversations. I don't want to say difficult or bad conversations. I want to say big conversations because they matter. And may be on the job, at home, with your partner, even with your children. But just for today, are you dealing your own cards or are you playing with a stack deck? Well, um, my journey through this world has taught me lots of things, and one of the things that continues to be struggle for me is having those big conversations. We're going to talk about that. Working with folks who um, are in recovery, working on recovery, just like I am, and we still struggle with certain things that we know works best, and that's to be able to have these conversations. So I'm going to read to you something out of my recovery material to give you something to think about with a stacked deck. We're going to talk about having those big conversations, and it's about us. Um, Kind of figuring out in our own journey, in our own recovery, how we see ourselves. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let me know you're out there, but welcome to Just for Day. If you feel led, please share this on your social media. Someone may need to hear this morning. I know I needed to hear it. We all need to continuously put out there that, we connect as humans. And part of that connection is building healthy relationships. And in recovery, we're having to relearn that. Mental health recovery, substance use recovery, maybe extreme abuse and trauma recovery, whatever that recovery is, we have to reconnect with people, and in a healthy way. And one of those ways that we do or we come up with is trying to figure out how to be different in our relationships. Our recovery challenges to look within first, right? And there comes a time in our recovery we have to make a decision if we are going to be defined as our diagnosis or what has happened to us, or if we're a victim, or we're going to move past that. And it is a process, and everybody's is different, and there's no judgment. But there comes a day when we are working our recovery that we go, I'm tired of standing behind this or beside this, saying, this is why I can't move forward. What happened was horrible. What happened in my own life was horrible. And I sat with that for years. And it caused huge, huge relationship problems and connection problems. Working my recovery, I want to have healthy connections, right? We all claim that we do. But one of the things that keeps us from doing the work is standing and locking arms with that beast, that thing that tripped us up in our life, right? Not to to make light of it by all means, but there comes a time that we have to go, no more power over me, right? No more power over me. And that is a process. I'm not quite there, but I'm working on it. And I see it as a beast. I see it as an ugly beast. And I'm ready to knock it down, right? So we're going to talk about this morning. And a lot of this is in our connections is not being able to have big conversations with people. Whether it's our supervisor, our friends, our significant other, or whatever, we just keep holding the stuff in, and for whatever reasons, right? And we can give multiple reasons that we all understand, right? But we've been there, the traumas, the pain, the suffering. Yeah, we've been there. There comes a time when our mouthpiece has to move forward and speak for us. There are pathways that we travel in recovery, those things that we grab hold to, right? Right. And that first thing that we found was hope. Yeah, we found hope. And that's why we chose to, yeah, there's hope out there. So I want to turn and do something different because I want a different life, right? I want a different life. I'm tired of the way I'm living. It's not living, right? So one of those things is to be able to grow, right? To look inside yourself, take responsibility, right? And as we unfold those layers and we see the damage and we see all the things that are not good, that we can either sit in it, and we do for a while, right? We do for a while, especially with our losses. We yes, a process. But when you're ready, when I'm ready, it's hard because one of those big barriers is having hard conversations. We're going to talk about that this morning. See if just for today you can grab this, and even if it's just for today, it's not to take away what's happened in your life or what you are still battling, right? At all. But there is a fighter in all of us, right? And when it starts rising up, we don't know what to do with it. I've always been a fighter, but in recovery, when I got back up on my feet, sometimes my fighting was very weird. It didn't quite match what was going on. I had to learn how to walk again, run again, speak again in a way that spoke hope and recovery instead of illness, sickness. I can't. Look what's done to me. Look what was taken from me, right? I was ready, but I still had to relearn. And this was a biggie for me, is having those big conversations with people without flying off the handle and telling people I'm going to run them over with my truck and burn a building down, right? I mean, yeah, this mouth is something else. It will say some stuff. It will. So sometimes not sometimes, a lot of times that's tripped me up. So just for today, grab hold of something that I put out there or somebody in our chats. And that's where I'm going to go now, to our chat, see who's out there, to see if there's something you can grab today that make your big conversations feel more doable, right? Feel more doable. Good morning, Christopher. Glad to see badasses in the house. Badass. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Miss Kim Porter. Hello, Angela. Glad to see you are in there this morning. Kayla, glad to see you. Or Kyla. I don't think I pronounced that right. Kyla Jenkins. Well, Jenkins is my maiden name. I wonder if we are sisters or cousins. I don't know. We probably are in some way, shape, or form, right? I love to see another Jenkins. So we might need to look at our family trees, right? Roberta is in the house. Good to see you, Roberta. Jeffrey, good to see you as well. Good morning. Kyla is correct. Okay, Kyla. Thank you so much, Kyla Jenkins. Oh, good to see you guys on this morning. Jenkins is my married name. I'm Stephanie's daughter. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, you got a great mama. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you married a Jenkins. Uh-oh. That's all I can say. Me and you might need to talk. Well, good morning, guys. Let's get into this morning and see what you guys got to think about this, and see if you can grab something today, even if it's just part of it. It is a start. So there are really only two ways to approach life: as a victim or as a gallant fighter. And you must decide if you want to act or react. Deal with your own cards or play with the stacked deck. And if you don't decide which way to play with life, it always plays with you. This was a quote by Meryl Shane. 2 ways to approach life. Well, we know that when we are getting into recovery, we don't always come out the gate as a badass like Chris, right? Yeah, we're dealing with trauma, we're dealing with loss, we're dealing with all these things. But there comes a day. There has to come a day. And I am so thankful that my day came. It took a while to decide that I wasn't going to let that situation hover over me. I wasn't going to sign off on it anymore. I was going to use it to connect with others so people would not feel alone in their loss and grief. See, I'm on the family side of addiction. 15 years walking with the first love of my life, which was my son. And it's been a long, hard road. Heroin and meth, it's not kind. It's a family disease. It took me down. Almost, in fact, I did lose a lot. Surprised I even kept my job, right? I also have other traumas in my life that I've dealt with, struggled with. I lost my 12-year-old daughter. So I've got some deep things that have really messed me up, right? So I'm not an authority on anything. All I can tell you is that recovery is not just possible, it's probable, right? And I don't sign off on these things anymore other than to use it to share hope with others, other mothers who've lost their children, other family members who are walking with their loved one, and they have the disease too of codependency, right? So these things are very real, but I don't want to be defined by them anymore. I don't. I'm ready to play my own cards. I'm ready to have my own big girl conversations. Yes, I'm ready. So I've been ready, and I put it to the test multiple times, but sometimes we all need reminders about those big conversations, right? We cannot go through life not having them. Conflict is going to happen. If we don't speak up for ourselves, which some of us aren't used to, it takes time, it takes practice. We don't know how to get our needs met in an appropriate recovery type way, right? Just for today, we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you an acronym. I've done a class on this before, but it's worth bringing up again. It's been a while. It's been over a year, I know. So you may have not heard this, but it's about having rich conversations. Yep, rich conversations. And this is something that I learned, I don't know, 2009, 2010. So it's been a little while. And it has really been something I've held on to for a while, and I continue to share it because it made sense to me. So if it makes sense to you, just for today, let's see if you can't add this to your toolbox of things that you pull out when it's time to have those big boy or big girl conversations, those big ones that really matter. You're overlooked at work. You are disrespected on your job. Your household has become chaotic, right? There is something going on that's big that is not something that we need to or should turn the other way, right? But I get it. It's hard to speak your truth when you've been silenced, you've been labeled, your confidence, your self-esteem, all those things they're not quite where we want to be, but guess what? They're never going to be quite where we want them to be. This is a lifelong journey. Yeah, it is. So listen up. I'm going to give you something that is very easy to remember, and it can be your backdrop, your anchor, so to speak, to have thoughts. You have the right to pause. You have the right to plan these big conversations. Nobody can force you to have a huge conversation like that if you're not ready. You roll the dice here. You stack your own cards. You hold them, right? You don't let someone choose your cards for you. You're grown. You're a human. You're in recovery, and as Chris says, you're a badass. You have a right to respond instead of being forced to react, right? This takes time and this is work, but guess what? It's worth it. So here we go. So here we go. Let me know you're out there. Roberta, Jeffrey, yes, indeed. All right. All right, here we go. All right, here it is. Simple and quick. It's called a rich conversation. Rich conversation. So if you're ready to have a big conversation, or someone approaches you who wants to have a big conversation, this can be something that can pop up in your head pretty quickly. And it's pretty effective. And it can help you gauge if you're ready to have those conversations, right? Some of us need a little bit of prep time. This is called, what I say the other day, pre-gaming. This is pre-gaming, guys. This is a way, if these big conversations are important, these big people in your life are important, this job is important, right? It is worth spending a little bit of time on. Instead of running off half-cocked, ready to run somebody over with your truck, ready to take on the world. What you're wanting to take over the world about might be absolutely 100% correct, right? It's all in our approach. It sure is. You want to be heard? Do you want your big conversations to be rich? Do you want to walk away feeling like a rich individual? Right? You know what it's like to eat something rich, right? It tastes really, really good, right? It's like, boom, it's powerful, right? We know what it feels like to be rich in our heart when we feel love and compassion from people. We know what sometimes we might feel rich in the bank, right? But how do you feel rich? Do you feel rich in your recovery bank? That's what matters, guys. In 100 years, that's what's going to matter. Not how much money you had, right? But how much money or recovery coins or whatever you want to call them you have deposited in your bank. This is an account that will go on and on and on. Some of us go, I really didn't prepare for retirement. I really didn't prepare to leave a whole lot to my children. Okay. Some of us just don't have that skill set. But what you do have is you have a rich recovery bank that you can continue to make deposits in and speak your truths that will last for generations to come. That can be your recovery bank, can be your legacy, can be your legacy. So just for today, I'm going to give you something pretty powerful to put in your recovery bank that I hope you will find some comfort in when it comes to having these big old conversations, right? So rich conversations. Let's get to it. Let me know what you think about it. And if you've ever heard of it or have tried it, right? So we're thinking about having this big conversation with someone, and we have had a history of those things not going very well for us. So guess what? I'm going to give you something this morning that can be helpful. So before you start that conversation, can you be respectful? That's the R in rich. If you don't feel like you can be respectful, not time to have that conversation. You might need to sleep on it. You might need to call your sponsor. You might need to sit with someone that you trust. You might need to pray about it. You might need to meditate on it, whatever. But if you know what it's like when you are, there ain't no way you can be respectful. I'm about to walk up on this person and I'm about to do something, right? Excuse my York County, South Carolina slang. But yeah, I grew up like that. And I'm one of those, the fight, flight, or freeze. I'm the fight, right? That's my automatic trauma neuro response, right? Our nervous system just goes, boom, I'm ready to roll, right? And we could go, no one is better than the other. It's just how it is, right? There's advantages and disadvantages of all three of those, right? But can you be respectful? If you are still sitting up in your big old feelings and you know that you're going to say something inappropriate or nasty, nah. If you can't be respectful, stop. You're not ready. R for rich, respect. Next thing is the I. Information. Do you have the information that you need to speak with this person or this group of people even, right? Do you have the information? And here's the biggest part of the I. Are you ready and prepared to receive? If this big conversation is happening or you want it to happen because this person or this job, right, that you're having a conversation about, these things are important to you, they matter to you, then you need to understand that you need information back because we're not always right. News alert on Friday. You're not always right. I'm not always right. We don't always see things in the same lens as someone else. Our worldview can be different. And we can totally misinterpret a comment, a look, the way somebody puts something on an email, right? So are you prepared to receive information? If you are still saying things like, they can't say nothing to me, they gonna listen, then you ain't ready. If this conversation is a big deal, if it matters, you need to be able to receive the information that you're going to receive, or you can't have it yet, right? Can't have it yet. And some of that information is an apology, maybe. Are you in a place to receive an apology? Right? If it's worth having, if it means something to you, if it's going to matter in 100 years or 5 years or 10 years or 3 weeks from now, yeah, you need to be able to receive the information. The C is connection. Is your purpose is to connect, stay connected, have a better connection, right? Is that your intent? Is for connection? We are built for it. Or is it to disconnect? Right? Think about it. What is your intent? Connection? Real, true connection. Might not be a person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Might be a coworker that, while you're working at this place and they're working at this place, you want a good connection. It's not somebody you're going to get stuck in an elevator with, hopefully, but it's somebody that you're going to see every day, have to work on committees with or whatever. Yeah, I want that working connection. It's not mean that you are madly in love with them. We all have different types of connections. And I don't have a intimate love with all my connections. I may work with them, but I'm not going to get too tripped up if they leave the company. I might be like, oh, I hate that. They were a great whatever. But I'm like, okay, next. Right? It is what it is. But there's some kind of connection. Is that your purpose? Is to connect. The last thing is hope. Are you having this big conversation for hope? Hope that the relationship will be better. Hope that a connection can get tighter. Hope that this can move forward. Or hope that you can end the conflict, that things can be better. You are hope. There's hope. It's not destruction. You're not having a conversation. I'm not talking about, I'm in recovery. So my conversations, I really don't want to have conversations at all that are going to destroy, right? I can't say that I don't fall into that. We all get pulled into that, but I'm working really hard to stay away from the trash mouth, to come at people like I want to, that I have some right to make them feel belittled or whatever, right? I want that out of my life completely. That trips people up when we say we're in cover and we're living a life, our best life, and they see us tearing people down because we look different or we pray different or we have a different political association or whatever. I'm not about that. You won't see any of that mess on my social media. Because number one, it's none of your business, and I don't put it out there. I love people no matter who they are, and so I'm not having a conversation to tear people down. And if that's not what this is about. That's not what recovery is about. That's the old life. That's the old life when we weren't well, right? So that's not what this is about. This is about, how do I figure out if I'm ready to have a big conversation that matters, right? That is not for the bad, but for the good, right? So it's next level thinking, guys. If you're tired of being defined and held back by what's happened to you and you're ready to step forward, you're tired of the stacked deck, you're ready to deal your own cards, right? You're ready to respond. You're tired of just reacting and walking away feeling ashamed or embarrassed, right? Then we got to work on it. It just don't fall out the sky and just embrace us. Recovery is work. And I continue to say that to the people I support, as well as the people that I supervise. It's work. Did you think it wasn't? It is. It's the hardest work I've ever done, but it's the most rewarding work I've ever done, right? So if you're ready to have those big conversations, quit standing beside the things that has broken you, labeled you, and defined you. Rich conversations. All right. Let me see what you think about that this morning. Got some people talking. So Roberta says, I need to continuously have those rich conversations on the subject of recovery. Yeah, absolutely. Jeffrey says, yes. Roberta said, I had Sharon help me. Sharon from PRN helped me having one of those cobwebs with my new mother-in-law. Oh yeah, conversations, not cobwebs. Yeah, I know, right? Yes, we got to be able to have those, right? We do. It takes a while, right, to recognize it, but we can get tripped up. Connections, guys, they're important. We're built to have them, right? Some of us carry some really bad memories of connections. Our parents, abusive, right? We've lost connections that meant so much to us, right? There's connections in all areas of our life, but they don't all stay beautiful. There's things that rise up. If they're important and they're genuine, there's going to be conflict, right? Because that person matters to you. And so if they say something differently or look differently at you or don't respond, then yeah, you're picking up on it. If they're important to you, they're important enough to have this rich conversation. Yes. So Stephanie says, I had a rich conversation on Wednesday that embodied all of these things: respectful, information, connection, hopeful. Still, it led to the end of a romantic relationship with someone I deeply love. I'm grateful for this info today, as ultimately that conversation ended the hope that we are better apart. Oh my goodness, Stephanie, my heart goes out to you. Y'all helped me through it at next level without knowing it. Oh my goodness. That's some good stuff right there. Thank you, Stephanie, for being vulnerable to share that with us. Somebody else needed to hear that this morning, because our conversations aren't all about staying together, right? As Stephanie just rolled that out, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's time to end something that doesn't mean that you're terrible, that person's terrible, but it's not a match, right? It's not a match. And the more we dig in, the harder it gets. And it's that realness to come together and to be hopeful that we are better apart, right? That was a rich conversation. That was an honest conversation and a painful conversation. Absolutely. Sometimes we have to make a decision to leave a job, right? That for whatever reason, right? And it's hard. It's not a great match, or something's changed in your life that you have to rearrange things, right? Yeah. Connections, rich conversations. Wow, Stephanie, thank you so much. Yeah. Our conversations, our big ones, don't have to be about bad feelings, getting our point across, right? Rich conversations. Stephanie is human. This significant other person is human. Each of them deserved respect, information, connection, and hope. Yeah, absolutely. So just for today, can you take this today, rich, and apply it? If you're struggling right now because you need one to have one of those big old conversations, I hope that you can sit back for a minute and think about, can I be respectful? Am I ready to give the information? Am I ready to receive it? Is my purpose to connect or even disconnect with hope? Not anger, not blame, not shame. Because sometimes we have to disconnect, but we are still connecting, but in a different way. We may have been, left a job because of something not terrible, but we disconnected as being an employee, but now we're connected as a volunteer, right? Or we disconnect from a significant other, but we stay connected because we're human. We decided to respect each other and say it wasn't a good match, right? Yeah. Rich. RICH. Use that as your backdrop today, even if it's just for today. Can you be respectful? Receive information. Give the right information. Have you got the right information? Do you want to connect and have hope? If any one of these letters aren't there for you, you might not be ready, right? You might not be ready. If you indeed are really trying to work on that next level recovery, that you're tired of people stacking your deck and you're ready to play your own cards, right? And you're not willing to give power over your addiction, your mental health, your labels, what someone did to you. You are tired of it. You're going to use it for hope, but you're not going to let it string you along anymore. And you're ready to have those big conversations. This is a great way to start. There's plenty of information out there for you recovery champions in recovery around having hard conversations, big conversations. This just scratches the surface. That's what Just for Today is about, trying to give you a little bit, right? It's your responsibility, my responsibility to grab a hold of what feels good, leave the rest, as we say. But whatever felt good, whatever you're led to grab and take away today, this is meant for you today. The universe put it out for you to hear, and it's your responsibility to dig in deeper. Yes, dig in deeper. So, guys, next Wednesday, just want to let you know that we are still moving forward with our next level recovery group. Just put it in the chats. Stephanie referred to it. It's a Zoom group. Each Wednesday at 12:30, there is the Zoom invite and the ID number and password for you to use. And so, yeah, if you got time on next Wednesday, come see us. Pop in, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Might be your lunch break and you've got 20 minutes to spare and you want to pop on and just get some encouragement or give some encouragement. Yeah. Come on and see us, guys. Come on and see us. We are definitely having rich conversations in next level recovery. If you're ready to step it up next level, get challenged in your recovery, if you've been stagnant a little bit, you want to hear what these champions have to say, come on to our Zoom room on Wednesdays and let's have a great time together. It is so wonderful to see people's faces instead of their little circles on their profile pictures. Yeah. Come join us and we will show you how to be champions. Yeah, we will show you and you will show us, because all of us have our own way we step in recovery. Christopher is the badass in the house and he steps a certain way. Then we have Stephanie, who steps in a way. We have Deidre, we have Kim, we have all of you who step in different ways. We are learning from each other, right? Together, right? Next level. Be open, come to hear, right? And chop it up a little bit. Rich conversations, rich conversations. Hello, Pete. Good to see you on. Pete says, hi, friends. I think that all the recovery work we've already done makes it possible for us to start dealing our own cards. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Just for today. Put that rich in your pocket. Put that rich in your recovery bank. RICH. Respect, information, connection, hope. Here's one more tip, and then I'm going to sign off. I got to go to Charlotte. Got to be involved in an amazing training today, PRN. If you are in a meeting today or you're talking with someone on the phone and you start feeling like this is about to get hard, write rich across your paper. Mm-hmm. And then write, if you're a doula, write respect, information, connection, hope. So I just gave you a little secret about Lisa. So if you're ever sitting with me in a meeting and you see me write rich across my piece of paper, you know exactly that there's something big going on inside of me that I may feel like I might need to have a conversation about. And that acronym helps keep me where I need to be, helps me think it through. Am I ready? Am I reacting? Or am I responding? Am I playing my own cards or am I letting someone stack the deck for me? Can I be respectful? What's my language? What's the information? Do I really want to connect? Right? And is there hope? What is my hope by having this conversation? Right? So there you go. Write it anytime that you start feeling. That helps me keep in line. So now I've given you my secret. So if you're ever beside me and you see me write rich, you know, we might be in trouble. No, this teasing. You take that and you carry it with you today. Even if it's just for today. Even if it's just for today. Respect, information, connection, and hope. You got it right. Yes, absolutely. That's what the rich is. Respect, right? Information, connection, and the big one, hope, right? If there is no hope, if you don't feel hopeful that you can realign that connection, then you're not ready. There's more information to gather. There's more meditation to have. There's there's a piece of this that's missing that you need to strengthen up, right? Right. So take this with you guys. And I hope and pray it is something that you can feel led to put in your recovery bank. Yes. Yes. All right, guys, you have a great, great Friday, great weekend. We'll see you Monday for Just for Today. Think about next Wednesday, adding that to your calendar to come hang out with us at Next Level Recovery. We'd love to have you. You guys have a safe day, safe weekend, and embrace each other. Have those rich conversations. Apply these things, maybe even if it's just for today, as you navigate through your day. All right, guys, I love you. We'll see you Monday, 6:30 for Just for Today. Bye.